Denmark to defend her crown at the 1986 European Figure Skating Championships. It's the final tune-up before next month's World Championships. A day of boxing and figure skating next.
Sports Sunday.
The Soviet ice dancers, Bestomianova and Bukin, their controversial routines have turned a sport into a sizzling ballet on ice. Can anyone beat the lady with the cover girl face and the gold medal legs? Katarina Witt is dressed to kill the rest of the best on ice. And can Jozef Sabovcik be the first man in history to land a quadruple jump? The Queen's Guard in Copenhagen still stands watch at the Royal Palace, where Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid welcomes merchant seamen back to this picturesque port city. Today, we're in Copenhagen. This is the European Figure Skating Championships. Hello everyone, I'm John Tesh, and welcome to the final major international figure skating competition before the World Championships are held in Geneva next month. We're here at the exhibition this Sunday afternoon in Brøndby Hallen Ice Arena in Copenhagen, completing what has been an amazing week of figure skating in the European Championships. Joining me, of course, is four-time world champion, Olympic gold medalist Scott Hamilton. Scott, these are the same athletes that we're going to be seeing competing against our Americans in the Worlds.
This has been an exciting week of competition, but also a very important week. All the defending world champions are putting their titles on the line for the last time before the World Championships next month. They're all very seasoned competitors and all very experienced athletes, and they could just dominate in Geneva.
All right, let's get started here. First, we want to show you the ice dance couple of Bestomianova and Bukin, who once again this week showed their supremacy in this sport. Here's how we called it.
The last couple, Natalia Bestomianova, Andrei Bukin, the Soviet Union.
To say the audience has been anticipating this moment would be an understatement. Natalia Bestomianova, Andrei Bukin from the Soviet Union.
Unmatched. They're dramatic, they're exciting, they're emotional, and very sexy. She is the focal point of this team. Watch her.
In last year's Europeans, Bestomianova and Bukin received 7 perfect sixes for artistic impression, but they've often been criticized for using too much drama. They dance here to a rhapsody on Paganini melodies by Rachmaninoff. This piano solo is being played by Vladimir Kraniev, the husband of their coach.
performance. A perfect free dance. Very sexy.
Bestemianova and Buchan. They are married, but not to each other. And so it was with that performance yesterday that Natalia Bestemianova and Andre Buchan received 4 perfect sixes and won their 3rd European Championship. These are the faces of 2 ice dancers who will be tough to beat in the upcoming World Championships. Lady Katarina is next.
Week here in Copenhagen at the European Figure Skating Championships. She's the most sought-after figure skater for autographs, pictures, and interviews. But she's strong. After all, she's a product of the East German machine. You'd have to say the East German figure skating program is at least organized. They certainly begin training them young anyway here in Karl-Marxstadt. From the bounding youngsters will be called the future East German skating stars. Right now, the cream of the crop is 20-year-old Katarina Witt. And just like the young ones who emulate her, she began her career in the East German gold medal factory. The main cog in this skating wheel of fortune is Frau Jutta Müller, whose coaching has long been gospel in a program that has gleaned 48 international medals, including 23 golds. 6 of those golds, including the '84 Olympic prize, have come from Katarina. Since she was 17 years young, Katarina Witt has ridden a wave of success and attention that has filled arenas all over the world. As a successful athlete, Katarina Witt, champion figure skater, is afforded a luxury not offered her fellow East Germans: the chance to stamp her passport elsewhere. To leave a country clearly marked by political and physical boundaries, and to visit lands far from the imposing granite visage of Karl Marx. Would Katarina's smile be so bright if there were no skating?
No, I didn't have this chance to see all these places. It's only for good athletes and not other people.
Do you feel fortunate?
Yes, I feel good.
The most watchable face in figure skating. If East Germany had fashion magazines, then the most popular cover girl would have to be Lady Katarina. This is the face that has produced an offer of $1 million American cosmetics contract that was ultimately turned down by East German authorities. This is the Olympic champion with that killer smile, who now finds herself on the pages of Sports Illustrated. Have you seen it? Have you seen it before?
No, I never seen it before. This picture, yes. Haben Sie einen Stift?
You know, they only put the biggest stars, biggest sports stars in this magazine. Do you know that?
In this magazine?
That's right. See, you've got football players on the front there.
Fußballzeitung, ja.
See, Super Bowl there, and they got you on the inside there.
That's nice.
Yeah. But earlier this week, the blush was suddenly gone. Witt was being plagued by an infection in her heel, and the practice before the short program was painful. Almost as painful as the disappointing marks for her short program.
5.0, 5.4, 5.1.
Witt would have to come from behind to defend her championship. Scott, East Germany's Katarina Witt has had a rough week. She was hampered by a heel problem early, but she seems to thrive on adversity.
Well, she has had a rough week, but her main competition at the World Championships, American Tiffany Chin, has had a rough year. She's been off most of the year with injuries, and there was question whether she'd come back to competition at all. But now she has a new coach, my former coach, Don Laws, and I talked to him this weekend, and he thinks that she'll be ready for the national championships next week.
All right, let's set up Katarina Witt's performance for you, which was held earlier this week. Going into the long program, Katarina and Soviet Kira Ivanova were virtually tied for the lead. Kira skated first. She faltered, which left the door open for the East German girl. Here's how we called it.
The next competitor.
Some last-minute instructions from her coach, Jutta Müller. And now 20-year-old Katarina Witt, the Olympic and world champion, tries to go after her 4th European championship. Here's the situation. Both she and Kira Ivanova from the Soviet Union are virtually tied for the lead. Katarina has to win the long program in order to win the gold.
This is a new program for Katarina. This is the first time she'll have ever skated this program in international competition. Her opening move, a triple toe loop to double toe loop. Very well done.
I Feel Pretty from West Side Story. That's appropriate.
Certainly is. Double sow cow.
This is a new look for Katarina. We've seen her as a flamenco dancer. She's dressed as a belly dancer, a Hungarian folk dancer, a German peasant girl.
Double axel. She really looks on. Kind of a hard week. She hasn't been comfortable here. She's been kind of so-so in her confidence, but she really looks like she is comfortable on the ice today. Another important jump. Triple sow cow. Nicely done again.
Coach Müller has coached her to pick one face out of the crowd and play to that face. It said she flirts shamelessly with the crowd. It's one of her trademarks.
I always try to sit where she's flirting.
To be in America. Wouldn't that be interesting? Katarina has reportedly had offers from American ice shows to dance there for millions of dollars. She's also been offered a cosmetic contract, both of which have been turned down by East German officials.
She's in great condition. This is the easiest I've ever seen her get through a long program. Double axel. Beautiful!
"20-year-old Katarina Witt, an American sports writer, called her 12-car pile-up gorgeous. Her skating is just as stunning." The question is, will she win this long program? Will she win the gold medal?
She skated her program very, very well. It's a great program for her. I felt that technically it was a little bit conservative. She'll have to throw a few more things if she expects to win the world title. Replay of her opening combination, triple toe loop, nice to double toe loop, and she landed with a lot of flow.
Technical merit scores are coming up on the board. A low of 5.5 and 2.58. Those scores are actually better than the scores that were posted for the Soviet girl, Kira Ivanova. We're still waiting flexibility of a champion. Here's Scott Hamilton now with Katarina.
Katarina, your English is getting better every year. I will talk slow so you'll understand. How did it feel? You looked wonderful.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I win this championship again.
It seemed this week that your confidence was a little bit so-so. I'd ask you how you were skating, you'd say, You looked fantastic. Are you happy with this year's program?
Yes, I'm happy. It was not my best performance, but it was enough for here, and so I'm happy.
You seem to be more comfortable as a performer, and you're entertaining the audience, and you're smiling more, and you're projecting. Are you consciously thinking of that?
Yeah, I think about them. And it was good here before. The audience, they was very good. And so it was easy for me.
What do you think about competing against Tiffany Chin again this year?
I'm glad to see her to the Worlds, and I will see the best will win.
Any message for the American boys? I know they want to hear from you.
Thanks for all the letters.
And so it was on Thursday evening. Lady Katarina stood gold here at the Europeans.
I'm John Tesh along with Scott Hamilton. And Scott, in the men's competition, all of the drama was provided by Jozef Sabovcik. First in the compulsories, first in the short program, and virtually assured of a gold medal.
He really has a comfortable lead. And what's really surprising is he has a comfortable lead over Alexander Fadeev, the defending world champion, who looked virtually unbeatable last year in Tokyo. But winning isn't the only thing on Jozef's mind. It's being the first man to land a quadruple jump in competition.
Well, Scotty, earlier in practice this week, Sabovcik was practicing the quadruple jump and hitting it successfully. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4 revolutions. And just scraping his left skate there. So then it was time to confer with his coach. Should he take the chance and use it in his program? Well, he is a confident kind of guy. And here is that program skated Friday and our call.
The next competitor, Jozef Sabovcik, Czechoslovakia.
Like it was at the World Championships, again here, all the talk is about the 4 revolution, the quadruple jump. Jozef Sabovcik from Czechoslovakia, all he has to do is skate a clean program. He'll come away with the gold medal here at the Europeans. But when we spoke with him yesterday, he said it doesn't mean as much to him to win the gold as it does to make history and be the first man to land a quad jump.
Well, his first 2 jumps could really set the pace for the rest of the program. His first jump being a triple axel jump. Nicely done! Beautiful triple axel. This could be it. Next jump is a triple flip, and we might see the quad right after that. Nicely done again. The next jump he's planned is a quadruple. He didn't warm it up, but he did some really easy triples. The first quadruple jump ever landed in competition!
Did you see his
It
reaction?
looked like he almost forgot what to do next. History. Look at the smile on his face, and he is putting out. Next move is footwork into a triple Lutz jump. Whoa, and he's a little bit out of control.
Sabovcik came here to Copenhagen right from the beginning. He served notice to world champion Alexander Fadeev that he was in charge. Skated first in the compulsory school figures, first in the short program, and then uncorked that quadruple jump. At this point, he would have to virtually walk off the ice to lose the gold medal.
You know, John, in any first triple jump, this first quadruple will have to be ratified by the judges at the end of the performance. But it looked great to me. I bet you Jozef is really glad the slow section came along when it did. He was getting a little bit out of control, a little overexcited. down right into the spread eagle. And he didn't do it. Something, there he goes. Double.
You know, it's interesting. It looks like he's almost completely lost his concentration.
This is a little different than the way he's been practicing the program. He still has to keep skating. Even if he did the quad, he still has to pull the jump saw.
Jozef told us this week he's been working more intensely than ever. There is no summer ice in Czechoslovakia, so what he did was he spent 5 weeks training this summer in Canada with Olympic silver medalist Brian Orser.
And you can really see it in his performance. He's always been very subdued in the past, and now he's much more entertaining, and he relates to the audience a lot better. If it were me out there, and if I just hit a quad, I would not want to still be on the ice. I'd like to be in the audience shaking hands. Triple loop jump, and he's getting it back. He's looking a little tired. You can see his arms hanging just a little bit, and he's not pushing nearly as hard as he was at the beginning of the program. Double toe loop that was supposed to be a triple. Last year he missed the quad at the World Championships, and it hurt the rest of his performance. This year he landed the quad, and it seemed to hurt his performance once again overall.
He is 22 years old. He will likely come away with the gold medal here once the marks come out. But he has also come away with a piece of history, the first quadruple jump.
Here's a replay of the quadruple toe loop he did. So you see he reaches back and vaults with his left foot. He goes 1, 2, 3, 4 times around, and he scraped his foot in the landing. Whoa. I don't know how they react to it. Here's a replay from a different angle. He jumps here, he gets great height. Now keep your eye on his left foot. This is important. He has to land on his right foot completely backwards. Can't land on both feet. His toe touched, but I don't think it was a balanced thing. I think that he completed the jump, and I give him credit for it. I think it was good.
All right, in any case, it's time to wait for the first set of scores, which will be for technical merit. They're up now. 5.59, 1/10 away from perfection. The Soviet judge has given Sabovcik a perfect 6.0, so he obviously thinks that he successfully completed that quadruple jump. Artistic impression now, and not as good, but enough to give him the European Championship. One more look at it, the quadruple jump. It has to be ratified, of course, by the judges, and those decisions have been known to take up to a week, so we may not know for sure until then. From the look on Sabovcik's face, though, I think he's decided to ratify it himself. He's down there now with Scott Hamilton. Scott?
Well, European champion, that's official, but the quad isn't official yet. How do you feel about it?
Well, I was so happy when I landed it, even if I scratched a little bit when I just pulled it up, but I kind of lost my control, you know? I was so excited about it that I didn't know where I was when I took off on that triple Lutz.
Well, you made history. Does this take the pressure off for doing it at the World Championships?
I guess so, yeah, I think so.
Now, you landed the jump, and then you turned around and looked at everybody and said, whoa!
Took a lot of energy, you know?
Did you lose your composure a little bit after that?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And then when the crowd went wild, you know, I was just laughing all around, and I just like, oh, geez, triple Lutz, you know? And I was like, woof.
So the Czechoslovakian star is now two-time European champion. Now that was on Friday. Since then, the International Skating Union has decided it was not a quadruple jump. They won't ratify it.
It may not make the record books, but I really felt that he did it. I thought he performed it, and I gave him credit. It's the first quad done, in my opinion.
There you have it. We'll be back after this.
For this year's champions in ice dance, Natalia Bestemianova and Andrei Bukin. Listen and watch closely. The world champions, the European champions, and right now, the hottest ice dance couple in the world.